The origins of Palo Mayombe, the path of the Mpungo. Before the first whisper of wind, before the first river carved its way through the land, there was Nzambi, the source of all things, the unseen force that shaped creation itself. From Nzambi's breath, the world was born, and from the world, the Mpungo emerged. Forces of nature, fate, and the hidden truths that govern existence. Long before the rise of empires, before the first drumbeats echoed across the land, the spirits of the earth, sky, and water wove their power into the world. Beyond all things, beyond the world of the living and the echoes of the dead, there is Kalunga. The great sea that stretches without end, the divine threshold that no one escapes. It is the abyss and the source, the deep waters where the spirits pass, and the place where all things return. It is an ocean without shore, the void that separates the seen from the unseen. The Congo people, bearers of ancient wisdom, walked in harmony with these spirits, knowing that the unseen forces governed all things. It was from them that Palo Mayombe was born, a sacred tradition, a way to command nature's power, and a bridge between the living and the dead. The birth of the cosmic order, before time had a name, before the rivers carved their paths, there was Lucero Mundo, the first to emerge from the darkness, a trickster, a messenger, a force neither good nor evil, but one who understood the duality of all things. He stood at the crossroads where every traveler must pass, whispering the secrets of fate to those who dared. His glowing eyes could see past, present, and future, and in his hands, he held the keys to destiny. He delighted in riddles, in the turning of fortunes, and in the unseen forces. With the forging of the first tool, Sarabanda arose, the lord of iron and war. His was the dominion of fire and steel, the protector of warriors. The patron of those who shaped weapons to carve their place in the world. He was unbreakable, standing in his underground forge, hammering out the destinies of the strong. He granted his chosen ones the strength to endure, but his wrath was legendary. His enemies left shattered like broken iron beneath his anvil. From the waters, where the rivers met the sea, came Mama Chola, the goddess of wealth, beauty, and desire. She was the golden-skinned Enchantress, moving through the currents with the grace of 1,000 lovers' whispers. She was honey dripping from the lips, the warmth of an embrace, the whisper of silk in the moonlight. She gave fortune to those who pleased her, but drowned those who disrespected her blessings. Where the living feared to tread, Centella Ndoki ruled supreme. The mistress of the graveyard, the stormbringer, the whisper in the wind on a lonely night. Dressed in black and red, her glowing eyes pierced through the veil of the world. The dead answered when she called. Her thunder roared, her lightning struck, and her laughter danced on the wind. Centella Ndoki is the owner of the cemetery and the dead. She was feared yet revered, for she alone held the keys to the ancestors' knowledge. Above the mountains where fire met the sky, Siete Rayos stood, wreathed in flames, his red and yellow lightning streaking through the heavens. His voice was the crack of thunder, his wrath the destruction of forests and the burning of enemies. He was the raw force of passion, of war, of divine fury. He did not whisper, he declared, with a fist of power and fury. He did not ask, he commanded, with unwavering leadership. He did not give, he conquered, beyond the gates of eternity. But where fire raged, the waters of Madre de Agua offered peace. She was the great serpent, the rolling waves, the deep unknown that held the mysteries of the earth. Her scales shimmered with cosmic energy. Her voice was the crashing tide, whispering the secrets of fate to those who dared. Her embrace could either cleanse or consume. She did not reveal her secrets freely, but to those who sought her with reverence. She would open the doors to ancient wisdom hidden beneath the waves. Deep in the jungles where the green never faded, Gurunfinda whispered to the trees. His breath carried the scent of medicinal herbs. His deep green eyes held the knowledge of every root, leaf, and vine. The animals moved in silent reverence as he walked, and the wind carried his name to those in need. His was the domain of healing, but his poison was just as potent. A reminder that nature gives life, but also takes it away. In the sacred fires of ritual, where the voices of the ancestors gathered, Tata Nikisi sat among the skulls of those who came before. He was the elder, the wise one, the storyteller, the link between generations. The spirits danced in his smoke, whispering the truths of the past, showing visions of the future. To those who came with respect, he opened the doors of the unseen. To those who mocked the dead, he unleashed their wrath. At the edge of the world, where sickness and suffering roamed, Kobayenda walked, neither living nor dead, his skeletal fingers brushing the ill, the weak, the dying. He was the healer and the reaper, the one who knew that from decay came rebirth. His path was feared yet necessary. Where others fled from disease, he stepped forward, his emerald green eyes shining in the darkness. His mercy was terrifying, for he did not heal without consequence. The body might mend, but the soul was forever changed. Among the warriors of the earth, Brazo Fuerte stood unshaken. He was the embodiment of physical might, the unbreakable will, the force of endurance. With arms like pillars and a stance that could not be moved, he held the world steady. Legends say that when mountains crumble, it is Brazo Fuerte who holds the land together, preventing the earth from swallowing itself. He is the strength behind kings and warriors, the foundation upon which battles are won or lost. Among the shadows of fate, Chola ruled the hidden currents of destiny. She was the veiled seer, the one who guided the unseen threads of fate. Her fingers skimmed the surface of time like ripples in a still pond, revealing what was hidden to those who sought her wisdom. Yet those who sought her answers had to be prepared. The truth was not always gentle. Beneath the earth, where roots twisted through the soil, Tiembla Tierra stirred. He was the force of earthquakes, the shifting of land, the reminder that the ground beneath one's feet was never truly stable. His power cracked mountains, reshaped valleys, and reminded mortals of their fleeting existence. He did not speak, he rumbled. In the depths of the abyss, Nkuyo dwelled, faceless and formless. The great void from which all things were born, and to which all things must return. He was the silence before creation, nothingness that came before all, the secret beyond knowing. Those who gazed into his realm never returned unchanged. And far beyond the stars, Mbumba coiled through the heavens. A celestial serpent whose body was woven into the cosmos. His scales shimmered with the colors of galaxies, and in his breath new worlds were born. He was the endless cycle of time, the great keeper of cosmic balance, the force beyond all forces. The power of the Mpungo. The Mpungo are not gods to be worshipped, but forces to be understood, respected, and worked with. They are feared not for their malice, but for their power. In Palo Mayombe, to call upon them is not a matter of simple prayer. It is an exchange. They require offerings, devotion, and an understanding of their nature. One does not ask Lucero Mundo for guidance without preparing to be tested. One does not call Siete Rayos without expecting the storm. One does not seek Mama Chola without knowing the price of desire. To walk the path of Palo is to walk with the forces of the world itself. To recognize that fire, water, earth, and air are not passive elements but living beings, watching, listening, moving. The Nganga, the sacred vessel, holds their essence, and the Tata, the priest, becomes the bridge between man and spirit. Palo Mayombe, the living tradition. Palo Mayombe is not a religion of submission. It is a way of command, a way of balance, a way of power. The Mpungo are neither good nor evil. They are what they are, and they demand respect. To walk this path is to acknowledge the darkness and the light, to embrace the wild forces that shape existence. It is an ancient story, whispered by the ancestors, carried on the wind, written in fire, water, iron, and bone. But this is not just a story of the past. Their quantum cosmic force is timeless. The Mpungo still walk with their children today, guiding, protecting, and testing those who carry their fire. Their power is not a relic, it is alive, flowing through those who honor them, those who seek truth, those who are unafraid to wield it. They are the hand that shields you when danger lurks, the voice that whispers wisdom when choices arise, the force that strengthens you when the world seeks to break you. For those chosen by the Mpungo, and those willing to endure life's tests, their power is unrelenting, their protection unwavering. This is more than tradition, it is a legacy. One that continues to shape the destiny of those who walk the path. The spirits are watching, the ancestors are listening, and the path is waiting. If this story resonated with you, explore more of the wisdom and mysteries of the unseen world. Like, subscribe, and check out our other videos to continue the journey.